Well, I had an interesting experience on my bike ride yesterday. I'm not riding very much these days and feeling a little bit lazy. But between my road bike and my mountain bike, a couple times a week, I find myself where I can get out. For some reason, all my friends are not riding much either. Not the ones that I can ride with. But anyway, yesterday I got up at 5:30 in the morning and said, I'm going. Got out of the house at 7:30 and took off on my road bike. Right when I pulled out onto the street, I ran into a buddy who was riding with a group of older folks. I thought, this is about my pace, but it was too slow. So I get out there to Gilbert and McDowell and decide I'm gonna head out to Fountain Hills, and instead I turn off and drive through some neighborhoods thinking I'll see some sights I haven't seen before. And so we always go the same route so often. Anyway, I turned back, rode through Lehigh Crossing, was going to Val Vista and drove by Jalapeno Bucks, and I saw my buddy Dwayne out there cooking his food. And I stopped in and chatted with him for 20 minutes. And then went up the hill home thinking I should mow the lawn, help Betty mow the lawn at 9, it was like 9 o'clock by then. And she wasn't up, must have had a bad night or something. And I says, okay, so I'll grab my mountain bike now and I'll go out the canal and up to the one little trail that's about a mile plus long, and I just enjoy the beautiful weather. Anyway, I get up there and driving along the trail, and I get to this place where so it's not a very technical trail, and I'm not much of a trail bike rider, but I do cruise along sometimes. And I get to this sharp corner on a decline, and I'm going too fast. And I hit the brakes. Now, the interesting part about this is I decided not to wear my gloves that morning, yesterday morning, because I don't know, I didn't have them on for whatever reason. Now my hands sweat, I know that, but I've never had my hands slide off the handlebars. And so as I'm coming around this corner, I hit the brakes, my hands slide off the handlebars, my chest falls on the top of the handlebars, and I'm going downhill, and I know at that moment it is not good. If you've ever felt that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach where you were about to get hurt, you recognize it but say, oh no, this is not a good time for this. But somehow I was clipped into my bike too, into my pedals. So I somehow moved back on the bike, and right before I tanked it, I came back onto the trail. And I thought, man, that was so dang close. And I just rode my merry way on down the trail, and when I got to the end, I was kind of pooped, and there's a little area there. I sat down, and I noticed that I was missing my bike light. Now, I just bought a new mount for the light. It's a $10 mount. It's a $125 bike or light, and I've had 3 of these mounts. For some reason, the design isn't very good. But anyway, I go, well, maybe it jarred loose or something. And I was thinking, I'm really not ready to let that light perish on the trail. Some lady comes along, I say, if you see my light, would you please pick it up? My name's Charlie Brown, if that helps you get it back to me. So I say a prayer, and I do say prayers on seemingly little insignificant things from time to time, and a lot of them are answered. Not that I expect an answer, I just feel like I do faith. I pray a lot normally in the course of the day, but I says, help me find this bike light, please. And so I ride up the 1.5 miles up the road on the pavement to the top of the trailhead. About that time, the same lady's coming out. I asked her, hey, did you find my light? She goes, no, I didn't. So anyway, I ride back to the trail, start cruising the trail thinking, it'll be a miracle if I find my light. It could have bounced and gone anywhere. But I'm riding along, and lo and behold, right at the top of the hill where I was about to crash, there was my bike light off to the side of the road. I must have hit it with my chest and knocked it off, and then continued on my near crash experience. Well, I stop, I pick up the light, I analyze the skid marks in the sandy side of the trail, and I'm thinking, man, how did I not crash? But I remember the distinct feeling of something almost pushing me back up on my bike so that I didn't crash. But I didn't really think a whole lot about it. And so I kept going down the road to finish the second loop of the trail. And as I'm riding home, I'm thinking, that was so close. How in the world did I get back on my bike? And the Spirit told me, you, my friend, have experienced a little miracle in addition to finding your light. Those unseen beings that you believe in, possibly, probably, your relatives who've gone on, are around us. I believe that. They're there helping us from time to time when we might need it. I don't know how that gets determined. I just know that it happens. And so that was the experience I don't want to forget, so I'm recording this for my posterity. But I do know that God does look out for us when we're exercising faith. I know at some point in time, the ultimate experience happens. It just wasn't my time yesterday. Not that that's what would have happened. But I went home and told Betty the experience. She chewed me out said I shouldn't ride by myself, which is true, because if I'd have crashed then, one of those bike angels might have found me, and I might have been in a bloodier state rather than a pleasantly surprised state, rejoicing in the goodness of life. So for my kids and grandkids, great-grandkids, there's a little story for you to maybe remember Grandpa by.